afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. In this session, we will have Nobel laureate panel speakers, with His Excellency President
はい、
Ramos Horta.
はい、
Please give close to him.
こんにちは。
Give.
はい、ありがとうございます。
And then we will have
は
also
い、
Nobel laureate winners, Nihon Hidankyu, that will be organization that will be represented by Mr. Jiro Hamasumi. Organizer CDCC invite the prominent person and organization Nobel laureate winners. Why we invite the speaker from this Nobel Peace Laureate? The first, we will find from him the wisdom, moral authority, and credibility from his experience. We know that Nobel laureates are recognized globally for integrity, compassion, and moral courage. Their present lend moral legitimacy to any dialogue about peace, justice, and humanity. They embody the principle that peace is not an abstract idea, but a living moral responsibility. And Mr. President Ramos Horta is here with us. To start, we will hear from Mr. Jiro Hamasumi. Is the online ready? Ready? Pak Fuad? Yes. Okay. Please, Mr. Jiro Hamasumi.
こんにちは。お話ししてよろしいでしょうか。
こんにちは。よろしくお願いします。浜住さん、ありがとうございます。
音が入ってますか？
はい、入ってます。
大丈夫ですか？
はい、大丈夫です。
はい、これから始めていいですか？
はい、よろしくお願いします。
はい、よろしくお願いいたします。ジャカルタで行われている第9回世界平和フォーラムに寄せて発言できる機会をいただきましたことをありがとうございます。感謝申し上げます。私は日本原水爆被害者団体協議会日本被団協の事務局長の浜住二郎と申します。
So first of all, I appreciate this
広島の胎内被爆者で現在79歳になります。一番若い被爆者と言われています。2024年12月に日本被団協はノーベル平和賞を受賞しました。ノーベル平和賞の受賞理由は、核兵器は二度とは使ってはいけないということを証言で示し、核兵器を二度と使ってはいけないという道徳的規範、核のタブーを形成してきた。80年間核兵器が使用されなかったということを喜びたい。しかし、世界では各地で戦争が起こり、核兵器使用の威嚇が行われるなど、核のタブーが揺らいでいる。被爆者の体験を思い起こすことが必要だということでした。私は母親のお腹の中3ヶ月の時、被爆しました。父親は朝早く爆心地近くの会社に出かけたまま帰らぬ人となりました。今も父親のことを思わない日はありません。私にはまだ戦争は終わっていません。なぜなら いまだ世界に1万2000発の核兵器があり、4000発の核弾頭はいつでも発射される状況にあるからです。被爆者は核兵器がゼロにならなければ安心できないのです。原爆は閃光とともに広島、長崎の2つの町を破壊させ、無差別に大量殺傷しました。人類が初めて体験した核兵器の地獄でした。原爆は今に至るまで被爆者の命、体、暮らし、心にわたる被害を及ぼし続けています。原爆は人間として死ぬことも人間らしく生きることも許しません。核兵器はもともと絶滅だけを目的にした狂気の兵器です。人間として認めることのできない絶対悪の兵器です。原爆被害は戦争を遂行した国によって償われなければならない。そして核兵器は極めて非人道的な兵器であり、人類とは共存させてはならない。速やかに廃絶しなければならないという2つの運動を日本被団協は展開してきました。どちらとも道半ばですが、私たち被爆者は諦めません。国連で2017年に採択され、2021年に発効した核兵器禁止条約 TPNW は、被爆者にとって原爆投下から76年目にして初めて実現した悲願の国際条約です。核兵器はいかなる意味でも違法だとした国際法が実現したことは大きな喜びです。しかし、核保有国や同盟国が参加していません。日本政府も国の安全保障をアメリカに委ね、署名・批准していません。核保有国は、また同盟国は核抑止論に固執していますが、核兵器の保有と使用を前提とする核抑止論ではなくて、核兵器は一発たりとも持ってはいけないというのが原爆被爆者の願いです。今、各地で戦争が起きています。今こそ核兵器をなくしていくためにどうしたらいいのか、世界中の皆さんと共に話し合い、廃絶を求めていきたい。生きている被爆者の平均年齢は86歳を超えました。私たちがやってきた運動を次の世代の皆さんが工夫して築いていくことを期待しています。私たちは核兵器禁止条約のさらなる普遍化と核兵器廃絶の国際条約の策定を願っています。人類が核兵器で自滅することがないように、核兵器も戦争もない世界の人間社会を目指して共に 頑張りましょう。ありがとうございました。
So I read the translation. I would like to express my sincere gratitude for the opportunity to speak at the 9th World Peace Forum today. My name is Jiro Hamazumi, Executive Secretary of the Japan Confederation of Atomic and Hydrogen Bomb Sufferers Organization, Nihon Hidankyo. I am a hibakusha exposed to the atomic bomb while in my mother's womb in Hiroshima. I am now 79 years old, one of the youngest survivors. In December 2024, Nihon Hidankyo was awarded the Nobel Peace Prize. The prize recognized our decades of testimony declaring the nuclear weapons must never be used again, helping to establish the moral principle known as the nuclear taboo. It is a relief and something to celebrate that nuclear weapons have not been used for 80 years. Yet today, wars are raging around the world and even nuclear threats are being made. The nuclear taboo is now under threat. I was exposed to radiation in my mother's womb, and my father, who went to work near the hypocenter that morning, never returned. There is not a single day that I do not think of him. For me, the war is not over. The world still possesses 12,000 nuclear weapons and 4,000 warheads ready for immediate launch. Hibakusha cannot feel safe until the number of nuclear weapons became zero. In a single flash, the atomic bombs destroyed 2 cities, Hiroshima and Nagasaki, and massacred people indiscriminately. It was hell on earth. Nuclear weapons deny humanity the right to live and even to die with dignity. Even today, the atomic bombs continues to harm the bodies, lives, livelihood, and hearts of the survivors. Nuclear weapons exist solely for mass extermination. They are weapons of madness and absolute evil humanity can never accept. We have pursued 2 goals. First, as a country responsible must atone for the atomic bomb. Second, as nuclear weapons being incompatible with humanity must be abolished without delay. Both goals remain unfinished, but we, Hibakusha, will never give up. The Treaty on the Prohibition of Nuclear Weapons, TPNW, was a 76 years long aspiration of Hibakusha. The fact that international law now declares nuclear weapons illegal is a historic achievement. However, neither the nuclear-armed states nor their allies have participated, and the Japanese government, relying on its ally, the United States, has never signed or nor ratified the treaty. Not nuclear deterrence, but absolutely no nuclear weapons. This is heartfelt wish of the Hibakusha. Wars are now breaking out around the world. Now is the time to work together to find a path toward eliminating nuclear weapons. The average age of surviving Hibakusha has now exceeded 86. We sincerely hope that future generations will carry on this movement. We call for the universalization of the Treaty on the Prohibition of Nuclear Weapons, TPNW, and for a comprehensive international treaty to completely abolish nuclear weapons. Let us work together to create a world free of nuclear weapons and war, so that humanity may never destroy itself. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Jiro Hamasumi, representing Nihon Hidankyu Nobel Laureate Peace 2024. Yeah? They got the Nobel Prize because advocate the total abolition of nuclear weapon and promote peace education worldwide. Yeah? Now we will hear Nobel Laureate speaker, His Excellency Jose Ramos Horta, a diplomat, activist, and now President Timor-Leste, one of the main figure in East Timor's peaceful campaign for independence. He won Nobel Prize, jointly awarded together with Bishop Carlos Felipe Jimenez in 1996, and Nobel Prize Committee recognized their peaceful effort to promote a just solution with conflict in East Timor and their non-violent struggle for human rights and self-determination. Please, Bapak Jose Ramos.
Selamat sore, salam sejahtera untuk kita semua. Ladies and gentlemen, I have a formal speech here, but I'm conscious of the time, so I will summarize only main points because the speech anyway will be online. And in my formal address, I see some names to greet, but who are actually not here. So I will only refer to those who are here. I start with Professor Dr. Din Semsudin, Chairman of Wasatiyat Islam and Tsinghua for Global Collaboration, for your exceptional commitment to continue the sometimes frustrating work on building peace. I was His Holiness Papa Francisco in Rome in January last year, and I told Papa Francisco I had twice or three times the time that had been allocated to me, and instead of 50 minutes it went on for 40 minutes. I don't know who talked more, he or I don't remember, but I just remember telling Papa Francisco, I am so thoroughly disappointed with the global leadership. We talk peace and peace and peace. We talk about conflict prevention. You don't have to be an Einstein to know that conflict prevention is better than trying to solve a conflict when it's underway. But yet we fail again and again on preventing conflicts. Couldn't we have prevented Ukraine from taking place? The war in Ukraine, couldn't we have prevented the genocide that is taking place, still ongoing in Gaza, now extending to West Bank? Of course we could have. If there had been more seriousness in in really turning concrete prevention into action in conflict prevention. But that required global leadership. Real leadership with vision, with audacity and commitment. So Papa Francis looked at me a bit taken aback, and that was the end of our meeting, and he could only say in Spanish, because we spoke in Spanish, pero tenemos que continuar a luchar por la paz, but we have to continue to work for peace. For this reason, Dr. Siem Surin, you and Tansri Lee Kim Yu, and all the others, peacemakers, who year after year, day after day, week after week, in villages, in communities, in countries, dedicate to peace. Because peace, not only we cannot talk only peace in a given country as a whole, when the cannons, the tanks, the airplanes stop. No, we must talk about peace in the communities, to stop domestic violence, the violence against children, to stop inequities, extreme poverty, because these are all violence. So these are the work many people do around the planet. I have been to Indonesia many times. Indonesian friends, most probably wouldn't know, but I first came to Jakarta in June 1974. That was my first diplomatic exercise. I traveled throughout Jakarta, sometimes on a scooter, borrowed a scooter from a friend already died, Hari Kawilaran. He was a journalist with Sinar Harapan. And sometimes it was Agus Parenguan, journalist with Compass, who would pay a taxi for me, because Agus Parenguan had a bit more money than Hari Kawilaran, because he was working with Compass, and he was more senior. But several times I took a becak, the famous or infamous becak in Jakarta. But time to time I would turn around to look at the driver, the poor guy pedaling me through the heat of Jakarta. And of course, Ali Sadikin became governor, and he ordered dumping all the becaks into the river. A few months ago, I was in Georgia as guest of Gajah Mada University. I asked the protocol, the security, that listen, I want to go walking, strolling in the streets. Yeah, and they allowed me to. I visit the street, and then I saw many becaks. Reminded me of 74. So I bought a becak. It is in my gallery in Delhi. And I have seen Indonesia growing from what it was, 1974, then 75 to 99, up close in Timor-Leste, and then today. What a great transition, what a great journey for Indonesia, for Indonesian people, from the era, the Suharto era, to today. Respected, celebrated, envied by many countries around the world. It means only that the experience of Indonesia is one to be, that is inspirational, inspiring. How to keep the peace, unity in this vast archipelago of many hundreds of languages, many hundreds of ethnic nationalities. And then in 99, 98, President B.J. Habibie decided to part ways with Timor-Leste if the people of Timor-Leste decide so, and agreed on a popular consultation. It took place, and the result came. We parted ways. In parting ways, we didn't turn back on each other. We turned around, shook hands, crossed the bridge, and ever since built one of the most inspiring, successful normalization, reconciliation process between two countries in past conflict. And that is thanks not only to our side, not only thanks to Indonesian side, because when you have two countries, two parties in conflict, or three or four, the effort, the goodwill have to come to all sides. That's why it's so difficult elsewhere in some other countries, because there are many more parties, internal and external. But Indonesia as a society, as leaders have shown great vision and the statesmanship that even in parting ways, having parted ways, didn't turn their back on East Timor, on Timor-Leste. Quite the contrary, from day one, starting with Gus Dur, Abdul Rahman Wahid in January 2000, he came to Timor-Leste. No protocol, came with two aircraft, a military cargo plane landed in the capital to deliver the first humanitarian aid to Timor-Leste. And then it was Gus Dur who talked to universities in Indonesia to welcome Timorese students studying and paying local fees, not international student fees. And this, when you look at the dimension, the number of Timorese students who came, that would amount to millions of dollars, more than any other country had provided us in terms of options to study. One single university, Gajah graduated 3,000 Timorese students already, and throughout Indonesia. So this is an example of what it can be between countries in conflict, that there is something after the conflict. But I don't want to fail to mention here the presence among you, a privileged presence among you, among us, of the former president of Kosovo. More than 100 countries have recognized the independence of Kosovo. Timor-Leste did many years ago. The conflict that happened about the same time, like in Timor-Leste in 1999. Kosovo now has dynamic diplomatic relations with more than 100 countries, trade, active trade with Serbia and all its neighbors, and yet it is not yet fully accepted as member of the United Nations, because membership in the UN required unanimity of votes in the Security Council. One single member of the Security Council can block membership for many years to come until situation change. President, all the very best, and my respect to you, to your successor, the new president. Madame, former president, was president when she was only 34 years old. And I'm a bit embarrassed. I will not say how old I am. And because you look like my daughter, you know, a bit embarrassing. So I have no age. And I want to say what a privilege to be here with you. But I want to add, where we are, we Timorese where we are, thanks to a great Timorese who have been to Indonesia many times. And I talk about many thousand Timorese who studied, graduated here in Indonesia. But one, he was the toppest student in Indonesia, in the best university in Indonesia, state university, free. And that Shanana Guzman, he got his PhD, summa cum laude, from Sipinang University. Mr. Shanana Guzman was in prison. He was sentenced to 25 years in prison. No, he was sentenced to life, but then President Suharto at that time, very magnanimous, he showed his great heart and reduced his sentence to 25 years. That was very nice, very kind. But then Habibi came, and Shanana ended up serving only 7 years in Sipinang, which more or less, if you are, he must have done 2 PhDs. And it was Shanana who said to me once and said in public, he learned to love Indonesian people while in Sipinang. And I have learned to love and to respect all these years of engagement with Indonesia since even before 74. 74 I came to Jakarta, but 72, 73 I went to Kupang many times. The Reformasi movement in Indonesia, led by the great youth of Indonesia, led by many other Indonesian great democrats, they showed statesmanship, audacity in pursuing the journey of transition to democracy. In Timor-Leste, when we achieved day one, it was Shanana who proclaimed national reconciliation, no revenge, no looking back. Who is going to throw the first stone? So, in the last 24 years, we consolidated national reconciliation and normalization, active normalization of relationship with Indonesia. We are fraternal brothers, development partners committed to building peaceful, prosperous, supportive region. We in Timor-Leste, not only because it's in our constitution, but we believe in it, we stand for press freedom. We are rated very high internationally. In 2023, we were ranked number 10 in the world in terms of press freedom. We also viewed as very high functioning democracy. I don't say what the economists and Freedom House in Washington they say, because I'm a bit sometimes embarrassed. I hesitate to say among ASEAN friends that Timor-Leste is rated number 1 in terms of democracy in Southeast Asia and in Asia. I share the experience of a country small in territory but immense in resilience and generosity. Peace and dignity are not reflected in material possessions. It's reflected in our capacity to share whatever little we may have, create harmony among people from diverse backgrounds. Values central to both Wasatiyat ethics and Tionghoa thought. It was this faith in humanity that guided us to the dawn of 2002, when a new nation was born. Timor-Leste and Indonesia demonstrate that peace is not merely a goal, but a continuous process of dialogue, moderation, partnership, principles that should inspire global cooperation when different cultural civilizations meet to pursue a common future. We have made significant progress. I don't bother you with too many details, as I promised. They will be online if you wish to look at. Our economy is accelerating from COVID, when it sunk 8%, minus 8%, to last year 4.1% growth. This year, up to June, is already 4.1, 4.4, compared with last year, which 4.1. Bank deposits, almost $2 billion. And we have made advances. We have a sovereign fund wisely invested throughout the world in more than 1,000 portfolios. Since 2000, more or less, since 2011, when we created a sovereign fund in 2005, and then we diversified the application in 2011. So in 10 years, our portfolio received extra $11.2 billion in revenues. Our sovereign fund investment has returned to us an average of 7.26% revenue return. And this was last year. This year, till June, 6.19%. So we expect it to grow. We have resolved our maritime boundary dispute with Australia in 2018 in a very mature way, led by Prime Minister Xanana Guzmão. And we resolved it because the two parties showed statesmanship, maturity, and that not only us, but also Australia. Australia showed how a strong country, a big country, should also abide by international rules of law in this regard. Looking at the Law of the Sea Convention, which established a median line between two coastal states, and when the median line, the distance between the two countries is less than 400 miles, so you establish a median line. So we agree on a permanent boundary at median line, as always argued by Australia, and Australia accepted. For those of you who never been to Timor-Leste, I invite you to visit us. We have the richest biodiversity in the world. I apologize to Indonesian friends, Malaysian friends, and many others, because and that is not said by me. I'm just repeating what is said by Conservation International, a scientific body researching many years in our area and in the world, and they concluded the following. We have more than 642 recorded fish species. At Nauru alone, the Nauru of the Dili capital, surpasses global records for marine diversity, positioning Timor-Leste as an example of environmental preservation. Our diversity provides opportunities for scientific research, ecotourism, environmental education, and so on. Industries are beginning, and a major Japanese investment in a shipyard that by 2028 will put the first ocean-going ship into the sea, and every year it will produce 10 ocean-going ships. Overall, we have zero political violence. We have zero ethnic-based, religious-based violence. We don't have a local, indigenous, organized crime. But of course, being a new country, fragile country, we are very much the target of organized crime from elsewhere. We know how the prolonged conflicts in the Middle East, Ukraine, Sudan, DRC, Congo, Myanmar, and other regions highlight the urgency of compassionate global leadership. And the global leadership is not only state leadership. We're talking about civil society leadership, community leadership, university leadership, religious communities, all of this, our efforts, youth that can change the world that we witness today, that is staggering in the dimension, the depth of the violence. We see only the violence going on in Gaza. And what make all of this an even bigger heartbreaking, we are seeing it streamlining. The Holocaust in Germany was closed to the world. Only when the liberators, Americans and Europeans, opened the gates of the prisons throughout Europe, the world began to see the magnitude of the Holocaust and was horrified. Today, we see it every day. But there are others that you don't see in Sudan, South Sudan, Congo. But Timor-Leste and Indonesia demonstrates that when we have a leadership, and Indonesia provided that leadership. And the leadership, even from small countries like ours, the leadership provided by the man who resurrected us from the ashes of the conflict in the past, Shanana Guzman, how it is possible. And last but not least, I wish to refer to our ASEAN accession. I comment somewhere, sometime, that how frustrating it will be that the road, the journey to heaven seems to be easier than going into ASEAN. I know only how the Catholic process, how you go to heaven. In Catholicism, it's very easy. Do not commit any sins. Don't drink too much. Don't eat too much, because these are capital sins. But if you commit a sin, you just go to the priest, you confess, everything is settled. You die that evening, you go to heaven. ASEAN is much more complicated than that. Took us 11 years, but 11 years that was great educational. When friends in ASEAN say, focus on human resources, capacity building, prepare yourself, they put pressure, and we work better under pressure. We work better with timelines, where no one tells us, you have a timeline, you have to do it by tomorrow. Well, we relax. So we were more than ready to join ASEAN 26 October. And here I reiterate our profound appreciation to all ASEAN leaders who have trusted us. And when I'm asked what Timor should bring to ASEAN, I only say, as long as we keep our country peaceful, free of political conflict or any other conflict, ASEAN leaders will be happy, because ASEAN, yes, is facing serious challenges, all the regions, serious challenges in the region and beyond. We should not bring an additional problem to ASEAN leaders. That alone they would appreciate, but we can bring more contribution. I thank you all for inviting me to come today. Thank you for the honor given to me in this illustrious gathering. And all the very best, President Kosovo, for your country, for your people. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. President. we just know from you that we have a good university in Cipinang called Cipinang University. Those who do not Cipinang University, jail in Jakarta, yeah. And then we respect. Yeah, I just know from you that we have a good university in Cipinang called Cipinang University. Okay, thank you. And in 1970, in 1974, you did exercise, diplomatic exercise in Jakarta, yeah? So let us show our appreciation to Mr. President for their inspiring presentation, yeah? Please give applause for him, yeah? I think I close this session. Thank you very much. And we will have a photo session, group session, in the here. Go down. Yeah. Thank you very much.
Thank you. We would like to invite all delegates to can stand in your own place and looking forward to the camera for a group photo session. Thank you very much. Please be seated. distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, we now proceed to the next event, Government of Benevolence Award. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good afternoon and a very warm welcome to the Conferment of Benevolence Award held in conjunction with the 9th World Peace Forum. Today, we gather here at the Puri Agung Ballroom to honor an extraordinary leader whose life and service embody compassion, moral courage, and humanity. His Excellency, Mr. Jose Ramos Horta, President of the Democratic Republic of Timor-Leste and Nobel Peace Laureate. May I now invite the nomination committee members to be seated at the front. The nomination committee members are Tan Sri Lee Kim Yu, founder, World Peace Forum and chairman, Cheng Ho Multicultural Education Trust and founder of Golden Horse Digital Investment Bank. Professor Dr. M. Din Shamsuddin, chairman, Center for Dialogue and Cooperation Among Civilization and Global Fulcrum of Wasatiyah Islam. Tan Sri Fuzi Harun, former Inspector General of Police, Malaysia. Tan Sri Michael Yeo, President, KSI Strategic Institute for Asia Pacific. Now, to begin this momentous ceremony, we would like to great honor to invite Tan Sri Lee Kim Yu, founder of the World Peace Forum, to deliver his opening remarks.
Selamat petang, good afternoon, Wanakam, 大家下午好. First, I would like to invite all the peace lover and peacemaker in this room. Please put your hand together, a very big round of applause for His Excellency, President of Timor-Leste. Second, you must make this also very loud. A big round of applause for Professor Pak Din Samsudin, the chairman of the World Peace Forum and CDCC. And also to Tan Sri Fuji, advisor to the Cheng Ho Multicultural Trust and Nominating Committee. And last but not least, my dear comrade Tan Sri Michael Yeo, who have also worked with me on many World Peace Forum and what we call Benevolent Award ceremony. And of course, not to forget our MC and this beautiful MC. Please give them a big round of applause. Today, as we gathered here at the 9th World Peace Forum, we are reminded that peace is not built merely by treaties or speeches, but by act of kindness that transcends borders, faiths, and generation. It is my great honor to present the Benevolent Award, an award inspired by the timeless principle that true leadership is measured not by power, but by compassion. The word benevolent finds deep resonance in Eastern and Islamic thought. In the I Ching, it is said that heaven, earth, and humanity must move in one harmony. In Islam, the word rahmat, compassion, describe God's mercy as a foundation of creation. Both remind us that humanity flourishes when love becomes an action. This year, the Benevolent Award came with a gift of 100,000 USDC, symbolizing not only generosity but also innovation, a bridge between technology and virtual. By choosing to donate this in digital currency, we affirm that benevolence must evolve with the times, finding new forms of reach further, faster, and most important, fairer. The recipient of this year's award, none other than His Excellency, the President of Timor-Leste. From leading his young nation through hardship to championing education and human dignity, he reminds us that even the smallest nation can lead with the greatest heart. We hope this award will encourage more leaders to translate peace into the tangible act, where through governance, innovation, or even charity. Let this award serve as a symbol of a new three-horse carriage, a model where moral virtue, technology progress, and global cooperation move into unison. May this be the beginning of the journey where benevolence knows no boundaries and where every act of goodness multiplies across nations. Your Excellency, we thank you for showing the world that compassion and leadership can work hand in hand. On behalf of the Benevolent Award Committee, we present to you the award as a token of gratitude and as a prayer that your work will continue to inspire humanity. And now I would like to invite Tan Sri Michael Yo to represent the nomination committee to read the nomination statement and the citation. Thank you.
His Excellency Dr. Jose Ramos Horta, President of Timor-Leste, Professor Dr. Dean Shamsuddin, Tan Sri Lee Kim Yu, Tan Sri Fuzi Harun, distinguished participants. Honorable guests, distinguished delegates, ladies and gentlemen, it is my privilege and honor on behalf of the Benevolence Award Committee of the World Peace Forum to formally present the nomination and citation for the Benevolent Award for the year 2025. After careful deliberation, the committee unanimously resolved to nominate and honor His Excellency Dr. Jose Ramos Horta, President of the Democratic Republic of Timor-Leste, a Nobel Peace Laureate, as the laureate of the Benevolence Award 2025. I now read the citation of merit. His Excellency Dr. Jose Ramos Horta is recognized for a lifetime of service to humanity, a life devoted to peace, reconciliation, and moral leadership. For over 4 decades, he has stood as a voice of conscience in times of conflict, a diplomat of forgiveness in times of diversity, and a teacher of considerable compassion in times of suffering. Through his courage and humility, he has shown the world that peace is not the absence of struggle, but a triumph of understanding that true leadership lies not in domination, but in mercy, and that the heart of nation building begins with benevolence. The Benevolence Award draws its spirit from two timeless virtues: benevolence, the love of humanity; righteousness, the courage to act rightly. In the life and work of Dr. Ramos Horta, these virtues are no longer philosophical ideas, they are living realities. He transformed the pain of his nation into a message of compassion and turned the pursuit of freedom into a lesson of forgiveness. Such moral clarity transcends borders. It binds East and West, faith and reason, tradition and technology, the very essence of the World Peace Forum's mission. In recognition of these extraordinary contributions, the committee entrusts His Excellency a benevolent endowment of US $100,000 disbursed in stable coin through the Golden Bridge Peace Fund to be directed towards any charitable or humanitarian cause of his choosing. The endowment symbolizes a new covenant between ancient virtue and modern innovation, reminding the world that technology, guided by moral purpose, can be a bridge of benevolence across all nations. Therefore, with unanimous consent, the Benevolence Award Committee and the World Peace Forum hereby declare His Excellency Dr. Jose Ramos Horta as the laureate of the Benevolence Award 2025. May his life continue to inspire the global community to lead with conscience, to act with compassion, and to pursue peace with great righteousness and grace. This declaration is read on behalf of the Benevolence Award Committee, comprising Professor Dr. Din Shamsuddin, Tan Sri Michael Yo, Tan Sri Fuzi Harun, under the patronage of Tan Sri Lee Kim Yew, founder and patron of the World Peace Forum and chairman of Cheng Ho Multicultural and Education Trust. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, we now come to the highlight to today's program, the conferment of the Benevolence Award to His Excellency Mr. Jose Ramos Horta, President of the Democratic Republic of Timor-Leste and Nobel Peace Laureates. This distinguished honor will be conferred by Tan Sri Lee Kim Yew, accompanied by Professor Dr. Din Shamsuddin, Tan Sri Michael Yo, and Tan Sri Fuzi Harun. We now proceed to the three symbolic presentations. First, the Benevolence Certificate. This certificate recognizes moral courage, compassion, and leadership that transcend borders and long love, dedication to peace and benevolence among nations. The certificate will be presented by Tan Sri Kim Yew and Professor Mr. Din Shamsuddin. The second one, the art and hand embroidery, crafted with passion and heart. It represents humanity's shared aspiration for peace and benevolence. Its pine tree motif The second one, the art and hand embroidery,
crafted with passion and heart. It represents humanity's shared aspiration for peace and benevolence. Its pine tree motif, evergreen through winter, symbolizes friendship, resilience, and longevity, virtues that sustain peace for generations. The artwork will be presented by Tan Sri Pusi Harun and Tan Sri Michael Liu on behalf of the Cheng Ho Multicultural Education Trust. Finally, the third one, the fast, a timeless creation shared by all civilizations. This fast symbolizes peace, unity, and moral harmony. It carries the essence of compassion and enduring friendship among nations. We wish His Excellency lasting health, safety, and serenity. The fast will be presented by Tan Sri Lee Kim Yew. Thank you, Tan Sri and His Excellency, Mr. President. Now we also would like to witness. There is a special token of appreciation from Excellency to Tan Sri Lee and Professor Din Shamsuddin. We would like to invite Professor Din Shamsuddin first to accepting the token of appreciation from His Excellency, Mr. President. The second token of appreciation from His Excellency Mr. President to Tan Sri Lee Kim Yew. Ladies and gentlemen, it is now my privilege to invite His Excellency Mr. Jose Ramos Horta, President of the Democratic Republic of Timor-Leste, to deliver his acceptance speech.
Lee Kim Yew, Chairman Professor Dr. Dean Shamsuddin, distinguished guests, friends, and fellow advocates for peace. I'm humbled to accept the Benevolence Award. Thank you for this honor, for your gracious invitation to join this conversation in Indonesia. The World Peace Forum continues to be a vital platform, reminding us that dialogue, respect, harmony are not utopian dreams, but the very real, practical foundation of global stability. This work, the work of bringing civilization and philosophies together, is more critical now than ever. I accept this Benevolence Award with the understanding that this recognizes a lifelong commitment to a cause and a core philosophy, the path of peace, reconciliation, leadership. The award invokes the ancient values of Ren, benevolence, and Yi, righteousness. These are the living blueprints for nation building, light that must illuminate our future choices, both personal and political. Timor-Leste stands as a testament to this principle. We learn through necessity and conviction that the path to truth, lasting peace, is not born of victory, but of mercy, not of power, but of principles. This is the essence of our work, an unwavering advocacy for compassion and principle in every political, social, economic decision. Lasting peace is an act of persistence, conscious choice demanding moral clarity from all leaders and citizens. In the spirit of Ren and Yi, I also wish to express my sincere gratitude for the generous benevolent grant of US 100,000 administered through the Golden Bridge Peace Fund. What is truly remarkable is the vision behind this, a bridge between ancient virtue and modern innovation. By leveraging stable coin technology, a digital endowment, this initiative reflects a powerful belief that benevolence, when empowered by technology, can reach every corner of the world efficiently and transparently. It shows that the values of past can be the catalyst for a more equitable future. These funds will be channeled through the Children Future Foundation for a charitable cause focused on education, particularly girls. This is a cause that promotes human dignity, instills foundational values, and lays the groundwork for future stability by investing in the conscience and the capabilities of the next generation. It is the most direct way to ensure moral harmony and that moral harmony endures. My colleagues of the World Peace Forum, we must continue to show the world that goodness is not weakness, but the ultimate strength. Compassion is not naivete, but the highest form of political realism. To the young men and women dedicated to peace and moral harmony, the rising generation of global citizens, I say, you are the golden bridge. Embrace both the ancient wisdom of Ren and the powerful tools of the modern age. Your conscience, anchored in principle and directed by benevolence, is the most powerful tool we have. Let us all strive to embody forgiveness, uphold principle, and commit to the long, difficult, but ultimately rewarding work of building a more benevolent humanity. God bless us all. Thank you. Terima kasih.
Thank you, Your Excellency, for those inspiring words and for reminding us that peace is the highest form of human strength. May I now invite all dignitaries and delegates to the stage for a group photograph to commemorate this meaningful moment. So, before we conclude this beautiful afternoon, let us once again open our hearts to music, the bridge between cultures and the realms of the peace. Please welcome back Mr. Dwiki Darmawan, Fakri Pratama, and Zainal Arifin for a special closing performance dedicated to friendship and harmony among nations.
For your information, Dwiki Darmawan, a friend of mine, is an Indonesian musician with the world caliber. Has been traveling a lot to many countries, and he conduct the so-called the World Peace Orchestra. But unfortunately, he just arrived from North Sumatra, and I suddenly called him to come to this hotel with two assistants, Pakri, the young violist from Indonesia, and I forgot the name, Dwiki Darmawan.
Thank you very much to the World Peace Trio Orchestra. So, ladies and gentlemen, this concludes the conferment of the Benevolence Award. Thank you for being with us this afternoon to honor a leader whose compassion and moral courage continue to inspire peace across nations. We now invite all delegates to kindly remain seated as we proceed to the next segment, the closing ceremony of the 9th World Peace Forum. Share, we will continue this meaningful journey in peace, understanding, and unity. We would like to invite all the delegates to still be in our place here. We would like to wait for a while for our Minister of Religious Affairs that he's already in his way. A friendly reminder for all delegates to not bring the interpreter tools and put it back on the table.